Is this the opportunity for internet computer? Decentralized systems become more important than ever. The US government decided to shut down Anthropic's leading AI model. And so people are looking for alternatives without any key man risk. Now, can ICP potentially deliver here? In the end, it's a sovereign internet cloud and is executing transactions extremely quickly compared to the competition. Yet, the price development long term was not great at all. This is the ICP price in US dollars. This is a linear chart. Here is the same on a logarithmic chart. We are close to the all-time low. So is this potentially an opportunity to buy against the masses, to be contrarian here? Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago, and I did this mainly through active trading of altcoins. My track record is public. It's linked down below. In the last 2 years, I started to publish my trades in real time. This here is the chart, and here are the numbers. On average, I made 5% per trade, and here is the trading history. Every single trade is logged in real time, and this page automatically updates as well. And so there is activity on ICP. We are close to hitting 300 billion transactions. But why is the price suffering so much? By the way, if you're using X, formerly known as Twitter, feel free to check out the account of this channel as well. So that's at Bitcoin Strat. Make sure that you follow the right account and not an imposter, not a fake account. At Bitcoin Strat is the right one. Now this is ICP measured in US dollars. Here's the same chart measured in Bitcoin. Now something is interesting about that chart. ICP tends to trend down, except sometimes there are those very quick moves to the upside. What's happening over here? Why do we suddenly shoot up by more than 200% to then come back down again? First, let's discuss the long-term underperformance. Unfortunately, ICP is inflationary. The number of ICP that are circulating tends to go up over time. And yes, the project is heavily advertising its burn program, but the burn cannot make up for the issuance. This is now the ICP market cap divided by the ICP price. Over the last 2 years, the number of floating ICP tokens went up by roughly 17%. So it's more than 8% per annum of inflation. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has 0.8% inflation per annum. So ICP's inflation rate is 10 times larger. If the project doesn't grow at that rate, then the price has to long-term underperform Bitcoin. Now, I always like to look at this relative valuation because in general, if Bitcoin goes up, most altcoins go up as well. If Bitcoin goes down, most altcoins go down. And in the end, it's all just a game of opportunity cost. Should we go with the safe Bitcoin or with the more risky ICP? If we buy ICP, we are inherently taking on more risk. Thus, we should expect more long-term performance as well. What we've got over here, that's the TVL, the total value locked on the ICP chain over time. This peaked at around 100 million, but tended to trend down over the last 1.5 to 2 years. Parts of that trend is just the ICP token itself losing value. When we measure the TVL in ICP, it is a bit more stable, but still we don't have any growth. But maybe we are stabilizing now. This is ICP relative to the rest of the altcoin market. So others is the market cap of all the altcoins that are not in the top 10. And over the last 9 months, we tended to trade sideways. We had our pump and subsequent dump, but now we are not going down any further. Could we maybe experience another pump and appreciate by more than 160%? The social interest is very low. This is the number of mentions over time. Here is the number of social engagements. Here's the number of creators talking about ICP. So this video is not the norm. There's very little analysis done on the asset, despite its market cap being at 1.4 billion. Now let's take away the initial sell-off. Just look at the development over the last 4 years. This tended to trade between 1.4 billion and 7.5 billion. So that would imply quite a bit of upside. We have seen a similar move in the past. That was in the later half of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. The market cap, unfortunately, is not the perfect reflection of the price development because, again, ICP is inflationary, so the market cap is more stable than the price. Most trading of ICP does not happen on the spot market. So we've got 14 million on the spot market in the last 24 hours, but there's more trading volume on the perpetual futures market. Here we had 54 million. Now the perpetual futures, that's just bets with leverage on the price. And since October of last year, that's when we got the big mispricing in crypto. The funding rate of ICP tends to be negative. It used to be positive before that. So now there tends to be more people that are pessimistic, that are betting on falling prices than on rising prices. The open interest is neither very high nor very low. This is a measure of how much leverage there is currently in the ICP price. As in, when many people bet on ICP, the price itself tends to go down. When the number of bets goes down, the price tends to follow as well. Currently, we are not super low nor super high on open interest. If we were to fall further, then of course the price would get dragged. But if we suddenly see a spike from our 80 million to maybe 200 million, this would of course push the price. Here's the trading volume on the perpetual futures relative to the price. Again, there's positive correlation here. When many people trade ICP, the price goes up. When less people trade ICP and the attention moves to the next altcoin, the price tends to bleed. Currently, we are rather low on the trading volume, which is a good sign. It's a sign that ICP might have bottomed versus other cryptocurrencies. Now here's the interesting part. The market makers tend to push the price in the direction where it causes maximum pain, where most people get liquidated. Now recently we saw a lot of liquidations on the long side. So the ICP price, relatively speaking, got depressed quite a bit. That would imply that maybe we will see the shorts getting liquidated next. What does that mean? It means a short squeeze. And that means the price is shooting up, similar to what we have seen in October of last year. This is very much a possibility. The downside versus the potential upside definitely warrants such a bet. The volatility on ICP is still relatively low. And that means it's unlikely that the current positive trend is turning around. Whenever we have higher volatility, we tend to turn around in the trend. Whenever we have low volatility, we tend to just continue with where we're currently at. Again, because the market tends to move in the direction of maximum pain. So a lot of volatility, a lot of up and down means that it's best if the price just turns around and then liquidates the other side. Since we are currently appreciating and since the volatility is still low, that's a rather bullish signal. Now let's look at the backtest, the simulation of buying and selling ICP over time. This comes from Bitcoin Strategy Analytics, so the backtesting platform of this channel. We are looking at the best combination of slow moving averages and fast moving averages. And the result here shows us that the 68-day versus 116-day simple moving average was the best combination to trade ICP historically. So that's just directly the ICP price. By the way, if you want to run your own backtest, feel free to check out Premium. You can look at all kinds of altcoins, also traditional finance assets, and also you can add your own asset over here if it's not already listed in the overview. So here is how well that trading strategy worked over time for ICP. This is the ICP price. At the bottom, we see the equity measured in US dollars, and here at the bottom, the equity measured in ICP tokens. So a nice long-term money-making strategy. Where are we right now with that strategy? Here is the answer. We did get our golden cross, and that was on the 18th of May. If history is any indication, we might get a bullish breakout in the not so distant future. Now the win rate of this strategy is not 100%. It's only 61%. But the average winner is plus 46%, while the average loser is only minus 17%. That's why the strategy historically tended to work very, very well. So according to the numbers, we do have a higher likelihood of ICP appreciating than depreciating. But again, it's a game of probabilities. Nothing is certain in crypto. If you want to copy trade whatever I trade, then feel free again to check out Premium. Every single trade is announced in real time in Telegram, but also via email, and you can verify every trade, right? So for example, when we shorted Terra Luna over here, you can just click on those dates and then you get the matching Telegram message. So this is when we entered the short in Luna Classic, when we got the dev cross, and then subsequently we closed that short when we got the golden cross. So this is again also from a backtest, in this case for Luna Classic. That's how I like to make those kind of trades based on data, and that over time works out quite well. But again, you don't have to run your own backtest. You can simply just blindly copy trade. If that's where you want to start, there's also automatic copy trading, but that's available only to the annual subscribers. We are currently at 26% annualized. Last year, we got 44%. That's also my target for this year. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. In case you don't like premium, just email me within the first 7 days and I refund you 100%. If you decide for the yearly membership, you also get $375 off. So quite a bit of a discount. So yeah, most altcoins tend to underperform most of the time, and ICP is quite inflationary, but it seems like recently, at least relative to other cryptocurrencies, it is stabilizing. It's not necessarily a good idea to bet on a falling ICP price, but if we do see a short squeeze, if suddenly ICP was to go up by 100 or by 200% even, then at that point it might make sense to short again. But right now, the statistics say that the momentum is rather positive. If you got some value out of this video, if it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time here on YouTube or see you on Premium. Link to that pops up over here. Thanks for watching. Cheers.